Hi, I'm Andy Hudson from Sittingbourne.me. I'm here today to try and explain a little bit more about what the town centre regeneration plans involve. And I'm here at the start of the one-way system with Cockleshell Walk car park behind me, which is one of the first housing sites. So this car park is going to be redeveloped as blocks of flats. They're going to be 4 stories high, and there are 62 units in this particular development. One of the other things that most people don't realise is that the lane next to the Cockleshell Walk car park is going to be made into a series of car parking bays in order to help support the number of car parking places that are provided with the residential development, which we understand is going to be less than 1 space per household, which is quite interesting in itself. Okay, I should mention that I'm also here on a Sunday, so there's not as much traffic about, and the car parks are obviously empty because they're mainly used by commuters. Obviously, Cockleshell Walk is an underused car park, but that's probably the only one. I just wanted to come across to the other side of the road so that you can see that it's the left-hand lane here that would disappear as part of these regeneration proposals. I couldn't find any detail on the junction arrangement where the 2 lanes merge into each other. I'm not too sure how that's actually going to happen in practice. I've moved just around the corner from Cockleshell Walk car park where you can see Spring Street car park just behind me. I wanted to show you this viewpoint because this is one of the views that the Spirit of Sittingbourne have illustrated. Okay, we're just round the corner now at the Spring Street car park, which is also going to be redeveloped for housing. Now on this site we're going to see 88 units. Again, this is all flats, and this is going to be a development of between 4 and 7 stories high. So significantly higher than the neighbouring buildings, which I'll show you in a minute. One of the interesting things about this particular car park is, according to the council's website, it has 72 spaces, but according to the Spirit of Sittingbourne it has 101. Now that's significant when you talk about occupancy, because they say that on average 63 places are occupied in this car park, which takes the occupancy rate to 88%, or if you believe the Spirit of Sittingbourne, 62%. Okay, I'm just showing you the view on the opposite side of the road, and as you can see, a 7-story development is going to tower over what's on the opposite side of the road. I'm now at Fountain Street, which is just on the end of the one-way system. This is the location of the 3rd and final block of flats, and this will have 65 units. I'm now at the train station, and I think even something for a revelation for me, because I'd never quite understood this until I was actually on site, was the pick-off drop-off point, which is highly controversial because it can contain about 6 to 8 car parking spaces and is on a roundabout, which leads me to believe that people are going to have to reverse in and out of it. Well, the revelation is that it's actually, what is currently, the bike shed. And what you see behind me is the new alignment of St Michael's Road as it bends round in front of the train station. There will be a crossing into the new leisure quarter as you exit the train station, which may or may not have traffic lights. After that, you will be at a new traffic lit junction into Milton Road and Dover Street, and with St Michael's Road. Okay, it might be a bit noisy here because of the weather, but this is where the new junction will be, pretty much on where the existing roundabout is, and this will be a traffic light junction, and that is expected to add to journey times. Okay, I'm now in front of the proposed taxi rank, which I think is quite a controversial point, because it will be significantly reduced in capacity from where it is now, and it will only take traffic coming eastbound, so you've got to come from North Street or Dover Street in order to gain access to the taxi rank. If you're coming westbound up St Michael's Road, you're going to have to do some kind of U-turn around the one-way system, or you're going to have to find another route via Eurolink. I can see this causing problems, and I can see the potential for people wanting to do pickups or drop-offs, just stopping on St Michael's Road and halting the traffic. Okay, I've hopped across the road to the Forum car park, which is going to be half developed, so the spaces located next to the Forum are remaining, but the spaces further away are going, and that's where the cinema and the restaurants will be located. I'm just at the bottom of Station Street, which will become a cul-de-sac as a result of the regeneration proposals. At the top end where it joins the A2 will be changed to be two-way up until that point. I'm just to the rear of Wilkinson's now, with the train station in the background, and it is quite literally from the point at where I'm standing now that they will have to cram in their 7-screen cinema complex and 9 restaurants. I think people have probably overestimated the size of the cinema complex, and in fact it will be 7 very small screens. I'm just located around the back of the Forum looking out onto Station Street car park, which will be lost. Now this is the site of the new multi-storey car park. I think a lot of people get very confused about that, but this is where the new multi-storey car park is going to be located. I'm just at the back of the Forum looking out across to Quickfit. Now this is where the new entrance to the train station car park is going to be, opposite from where the multi-storey car park is. And I think one of the factors that the Spirit of Sittingbourne haven't taken into account is that car park opposite me, St Michael's car park, is going to be affected by other things that are outside of their plans. And this is one of the problems, again, with the long-term car parking. One of the other changes is going to be this Pelican Crossing behind me, which will become a traffic lit junction. This will hopefully work in sync with the traffic lights in front of me, so to avoid the problems where you're getting pedestrians crossing when the traffic lights are on green, which I'm sure is familiar to anyone that comes this way on a regular basis. Right, I'm here with the Princess Street Biffa Depot just behind me. This is the site of the new large format retail units. There's going to be 4 units. Think along the lines of Sittingbourne Retail Park, which actually is on the opposite side of the road from here. And you're along the right line. So 4 of sort of smaller size units. There's about 3,156 square metres of space. There's 105 car parking spaces, and the entrance, I understand, is going to be exactly where the entrance to the present Biffa Depot is. Whether this is going to have an impact on traffic coming up to the traffic light junction at the retail park, I really don't know. That's a questionable thing. Hopefully not, but you never know. One of the big problems with this application as well, I think most people are generally in favour of seeing some regeneration happen in this town. I think it's the details surrounding it. For me, the killer thing is long-term car parking provision, which I don't think there's ever been a satisfactory answer to. Yes, they're going to build a new multi-storey, but whether that will be long-term or short-term only is still debatable. The loss of long-term car parking is hit even harder when you take into account other things that are outside of this application that might impinge on a long-term car parking provision even further. I think ultimately the pick-off, drop-off point outside the train station is completely unworkable. I just see that as a complete disaster. The taxi rank isn't great, and I think the changes to the road layout are just going to result in gridlock around the town centre.